There are some people who live in a dream world, and there are some who face reality. And then there are those who turn one into the other. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to the series of soul awakening stories of women who are an inspiration to the whole world and helping other women to live a supremely empowered life. Hi, my name is Narinder Kaur. I'm a Phoenix healing and self-esteem coach, founder of the Women Power Unleashed and the Phoenix Healers Hub. I'm on mission to help 100,000 women to raise the phoenix in themselves and live a supremely empowered life. Today, I have the honor of welcoming Alexandra from Austria, Vienna, on my show. Welcome, Alexandra.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Thank you. And let me just give a brief about her. Um, she's a virtual event strategist. Alexandra helps you to strategize, plan, and launch magnetic virtual events that unleash epic business growth. And Alexandra brings over 15 years of project management and event planning experiences across multiple industries, geographies, and scale of businesses. So she is specifically attuned to the unique challenges and opportunities the entrepreneur face in the outline business environment. And Alexandra founded the virtual events launch to equip business owners with tools, insights, and education on how to create virtual events that are truly worth attending, create real value, and encourage community building. Wow. So, Alexandra, that's really amazing and very, very new and interesting topic. I would like to know more about you and let me welcome you. So, I have the honor to welcome you on this platform.
Well, thank you so much. It's a great pleasure to be here and share my story and also my expertise. And hopefully, that will inspire some women as well to live up to their goals and realize their dreams for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yes, well, I've started my business world quite a few years ago. I was in the corporate world before, doing different things. Also, event planning was part of it, but it was also research. And then when I had the kids, I've decided to move into the online business. It was quite overwhelming at the beginning, I must admit, especially because I was totally new to it. There was a lot of feeling of frustration and overwhelm, not understanding the terms, not knowing what to do with millions of coaches giving you different sorts of strategies and you not knowing what to follow. However, I've battled my way through it, and I'm very happy that I was able to found my own business and really do what I really like, and that's events planning. And I've been doing both virtual and non-virtual events, and now I'm focusing mostly on virtual events, including summits, retreats, workshop challenges, and webinars. And that's actually something that's going to be with us for the rest of however the online business is going to be present, because virtual events is something that's never going to go away. Virtual events are such an essential part. And when you think about virtual events, it's not only the summits, right? Whenever we're doing a live and interview series, it's also a virtual event. And it's so important that we step up our games, because there's so many people online, because so many people are hosting virtual events, that it's really important to be able to deliver your message in an effective way, so that people really connect with you and get inspired by you, and also receive some fantastic tips. And yeah, I'm really happy to share any tips or any questions you have on that.
That's amazing. So, can you please tell us more about virtual events? How do you place it, and how do you do that? So, we want to know more about virtual events.
Yeah,
Like
well,
which
it's a very big topic. It's a very broad topic, and it very much depends on what you want to plan and what your goal is. So, whatever you do in life, I think whether it's planning events, whether it's starting a business, or whether even any other undertaking, there's always the question why. Why are you doing it? And I'm
right,
very particular about that, especially when I work with my clients and they come to me and would like to put on an event. I always ask them, so why would you want to do that? Is
that's
it,
true.
do you want to gain visibility? Do you want to earn some profits? Do you want to launch a product? Do you want to get connections? And coming from that why, we figure out what type of event would suit that person most, and the business, of course. And there is no one fit all solution, and that's why it is important actually to get hold of virtual event planners, because really we can guide you from an expert point of view to really make the right decision so that you do not waste time and money. And time is of the essence for anybody. It's the most valuable resource that we have. And as an online entrepreneur, especially as a solo entrepreneur or somebody with a small team, it's really so essential to be laser focused on your activities. And I can't stress that enough. I mean, so many of us suffer from the shiny object syndrome. So many of us get sidetracked by some new exciting projects. And it's really important to really keep focused on what you're doing. And when you're planning an event, whatever event it is, it really has to be aligned with your business strategy, with the overall goal. If it's not, then it sidetracks you. And putting on an event, any type of event, is time consuming and energy consuming. And if you do
That's true.
not get the right output at the end of it, it can become rather frustrating.
That's
So
true.
so what is very important is, first of all, whatever event you want to put on, ask yourself, why do you want to do that?
That's the very important tip, that why is very necessary in anything, that why you want to do that. And you have given us a very beautiful tip, and I think people should ask the thing before they start anything, to why they want to reach the goal. So that's great, Alexandra. And how do you find people? So, like, how about the virtual events? How do you find your target market?
So the target market, well, if you're already in business, you
Mm-hmm.
already should be researching or at least having an idea about your target market. And if you're putting on events, you should be putting it on for your target market. If you are doing it for yourself, of course, if you're putting an event for somebody else, of course, you need to research and know about the target market of the other person. And in virtual events, because it has to be aligned with your business, with your products, with whatever you're planning in a short or long-term basis, of course, it targets your audience. So if you're not sure about who your audience is yet, and of course, it's not a process that you can learn overnight. And I think as entrepreneurs, we're constantly searching and constantly learning about our target audience, and things can change, right? We can pivot or we can focus on certain things. And with time, we can figure out maybe actually we're attracting a certain age group, and we can narrow down, niche down, or we're attracting more women or more men or more people from the corporate world or more people who are just starting out. There are so many pockets that you can really classify your audience in, and it doesn't happen overnight. So you can do some research in the beginning, but of course, as time goes by, you understand your target market much more. You can use virtual events to get to know your target market, of course, and you can even launch your business with a virtual events. You can do that. But if you want to launch your business with a virtual event, you really have to do a lot of background work on your
That's true.
avatar, because it's going to be quite frustrating if you've done a virtual event, if you've done a summit, if you build an audience with your summit, and then it's actually not your audience that you're going to be working with. It's a waste of time, of resources.
That's
So
true.
yes, absolutely. And if you are trying to taste the waters and see who are your people, then put on smaller events. These can be workshops or challenges or boot camps that you're not relying on other people, but on yourself. And maybe it's a small group of people. And from that small group of people, you will grow, you will understand them better, and you would also see if you connect with them on a way that you would want to, right? If they are your people. So that's part of the entrepreneurial journey. Sometimes you just have to test things out and see if they work or they don't.
Wow, that's amazing. And I believe sometimes it's like it's very at times overwhelming, because when you keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing, and keep on finding out the target market, and really have to work hard. And how do you motivate yourself at that time?
Well, if you do what you love, I think that's motivation enough. And if you have a certain dream or certain goal in mind or vision, then of course it's easier to get out in the morning and do even those mundane tasks that you don't love doing, right? So that's why anybody who is starting a business, it's not an easy journey. Whatever people might say that you need a computer internet connection and you're good to go, of course, in terms of technology and investment, you might not need so much at the beginning. However, it is not a straightforward journey for most of us. It takes a lot of time to get your audience, takes a lot of effort to keep that audience engaged, especially now because things are so competitive in the online world. And if you are moving towards a vision, if you have a vision in mind, and hopefully this vision is bigger just earning a lot of money, right? So if you maybe have a certain message to share with the world, then of course it's going to motivate you every single day. And I'm saying that there won't be days that you don't want to do anything, and there won't be days where you're just going to be crying because things are not going
Absolutely.
the way. Anything can happen, right? You can plan for the best event ever, you can have a best strategy in place, but then sometimes things don't fall into place because we're still dealing with people, right? And we're not robots, and we have emotions, and when they come into play, things don't always fall as you might have planned it. So sometimes you just take a break, right? If you feel really down,
Yeah.
if you feel really frustrated, do not stop, right? Take a break, re-energize, do whatever sparks you, right? If it's dancing, go dancing. If it's going for a walk, go for a walk. If you like to sing, sing your heart out, right? So do something that really makes you happy. Take a pause and then go back. And there are no failures. I mean, I know these quotes have been stated so many times, but I don't think they can be, one can say it enough, because we are so good at bashing ourselves. We're so good at saying we're at fault, we're not doing right, we're not good enough. Especially, I think women are great pros at it, right? So, really, everybody is amazing. You are unique, you are something special, and you really have to live it out. And if things do not come straight, right, the way you want them to, give it some time. Maybe you should take a slightly different route, maybe a detour. Maybe it's a different door that you need to enter, but keep going. And I have a really good friend who told me once, if you have a goal in mind, if you want to reach that goal, run towards it. If you can't run, walk towards it. But if you can't walk, lie in the direction of your dream, right? So take that pace that you can at your given time. And a lot of us have different situations, right? Sometimes you have small kids, or you're taking care of somebody, or you have a different job that you need to earn the money to have insurance. I mean, we all have different life situations. So take things, right, that are suitable for yourself, for your life situation, that are aligned with the time that you have, with the resources and capacities that you have, but just move forward. Even though it's a small steps in the beginning, they will increase, right? Steps will become bigger, and the time that you need to get at a certain distance will become shorter because you become more experienced, you become more confident, and yeah, things just fall into place. They definitely will.
Wow, that's incredible, actually. Very important tips, and very, very, very valuable insights what you are giving to the woman, and to the whole world. So, what kind of apps and softwares you use for virtual event?
So when you're planning virtual events, again, it all comes to the why, right? Whatever
Yeah.
you do, you have to come back to the why, and also what you have available in your business. So depending on your let's say, financial situation, and on the stage you are in the business, you would probably will be using different softwares, different tools. So if you're just starting out, do not invest in fancy tools, even though it might sound amazing, but I would advise you not to do that, just because you might pay for them now and you're not going to use them later on. So depending on what your situation is now and where you're heading towards to, you will change different tools. For example, if you are going to launch an online course, then you need a certain site or a certain tool, such as Thinkific or Teachable, Kajabi, Kartra. I mean, there's so many of them out there, that you would need to host it, right? Or maybe a WordPress site with Learn
Yeah.
Dash, something like that. So you need to have certain tools in place. And depending what you're using in business now and where you're going, you will be picking these particular tools. So if you're having an online course in mind, right, you putting on
Yeah.
an event and you want to launch a product afterwards, you might want to invest in a tool now for the event because you're going to be using it later on. However, if that's not your plan, if you're not going to be using building a course now, or if you're just using services, we have other paths, then I would advise not to invest in something. I mean, you can really go by with very easy tools, Zoom, Facebook, something that is readily available, that it doesn't break your bank, and try things out. If it works, fine. Then next time you gain a bit of budget and you can invest it into a big event, into a more elaborate technology, and you grow.
Wow. Actually, that's what is the main point is like people invest a lot of money in the tools first, and then after making the course, or they just draw back and they just get overwhelmed. So this is a very important tip for everybody. Don't invest too much in the tools first, and don't waste your money in investing in so much of tools first. Ask your why, and then the second thing is the course making and all that. First decide about that, then you can invest on the high end things, isn't it, Alexandra?
Yes, absolutely. That's totally right. I think it goes with everything. I mean, it doesn't only include event planning. When you're starting off a business, I hear so many people, especially when you go into Facebook groups and people
Yeah.
ask, what would you have done differently had you started your business now? So many people say, I wouldn't waste so much time building out a website. I wouldn't waste so much time building out a course before actually
Correct.
pre-selling it or knowing who I'm selling it for. So keep things simple. There are tools out there that do not cost you much or hardly anything, that will give you enough online presence. And nowadays, I think even though a nice website is great, I don't think it's an essential part of business. I think an essential part of business is building connections. I think that's what you need to do first. First and foremost, build connections, right? Get to
Wow.
know your clients, build connections, sell products or sell your service, earn some money first, right? And then
Correct.
invest into anything else. And you'll be surprised how much people pre-sell before they actually even create a course, right? And
That's
we
true.
are actually now putting on a summit, the New Business Blueprint, that's going to be happening at the end of January. And we're having a lady talk exactly about that. How do you pre-sell your online course before you actually create it? And I think that's really, really important, because people spend months or even a year creating something, and then afterwards they
Correct.
can't sell. They have an unsuccessful product launch.
That's
So
true.
sell first and then create. And you can be
Wow.
very transparent
Mhm.
about it, and how you do that. And I'm sure that lady will give fantastic tips at the event.
Mhm.
So this is really important for anybody.
That's amazing, and I think a lot of coaches are there in the market, and a lot of people are actually juggling from it, that how to sell, and they are not getting the right market, they are not getting the target market what they are looking for, and they're just putting the money in this. So this is a very insightful thing what Alexandra has told us, and the event is there as well in the end of January. If you would like to know more about the details, you can contact Alexandra or contact me directly regarding the event, and we'll give you the details about that. And just a curiosity, how do you manage all the things?
Yes, well, it can get quite intense at times, especially when event planning. I mean, I've been doing event planning and virtual event planning for a very long time. So I'm used to it. I know what needs to be done, and I know how to plan and when to plan. I have all my timelines. Things just come naturally to me. But of course, for those of you who are just starting out, who are doing the first event, I think it's very important to plan well and to be realistic, right? Because as I say, we all have our commitments. Sometimes we have small kids, and sometimes we have a job, a full-time job, or part-time job that we need to give our energy and time towards to. So it's important that you are realistic. Even if you dream of hosting your event next month, you might want to delay it because you have to plan things out a lot correctly. And then, you're still going to be dealing with people, especially if it's a summit, and things will not go 100% as you want, because mind you, we're all overwhelmed at the moment. So much going on online, so much, especially after this year. Really,
Yeah,
the online space is
it's
full
like a
of
fish
people.
market now.
Exactly. And
Actually,
you're
it is.
messaging people, and your speaker
Yeah,
might be engaged in 10 other summits, right? Because there's so many going on. Each day of the year, there is at least, I don't know, 30 or 50 summits going on, right? All over the
it is
world. I mean, you're not
all
even
over the
aware of
world.
it, all different topics. So your
Yes,
speaker is most likely to be very engaged in other events or in other activities and other business activities. So you have to be very clear about your message. You have to repeat your message many times, and you have to be clear yourself first, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what you need from others. Be clear about that first, and then give the message to the people, and do repeat, right? And there's nothing wrong in repeating, because we forget things all the time. And especially, when you're there on Facebook with millions of messages coming from all the people, you read it and then you forget it because you move to the next thing.
that's
So
true.
planning, clarity, and communication is of essence.
That's wonderful. That is amazing. So, Alexandra, what's your success principle? How do from whom you get inspired?
Well, I get my inspiration from my kids because
Wow.
yes, they are. Well, they're really what drives me. I mean, I love what I do, but of course, at the end of the day, I'm doing it so that I can provide a lifestyle for my kids and for myself that really suits us, right? So, when it's allowed, again, I really want them to travel, to see the world, to go to different places. So I really want them to have that lifestyle that I have in my mind, that I would
Wow.
like them to experience, right? So of course, that is a big driving force for myself each day. And I'm sure everybody will find their own vision, their own purpose, that gets them out of the bed and gets them to do the things they do each day.
Correct, 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 correct. One should have the purpose to live the life of what are they looking for in
Absolutely,
this lifetime,
absolutely.
actually.
And it takes time. It takes time. I mean, we had the other summit, right, in December that you were participating on as well, right? And that
Yeah,
was all about connections, all about connecting with yourself, with your vision, with your purpose.
correct.
And I think it's so important. And whenever you start a business, a lot of us, as you rightly said before, jump into tools. What tools do I need? What sales strategies do I need? But first and foremost, you have to connect with yourself. You have to
Correct.
know why you're doing it, what you're doing, who you're
Exactly.
doing it for yourself, for others. Do you
Correct.
want to share a certain message? Do you have this driving force in yourself that you
Um,
have to
I
really
think passion
identify?
must be there. Passion is very important because what drives you and what thrives you. So one must have the passion to do that, the thing what he or she is looking for, because that is what it will be there with the whole life. So passion should
Absolutely.
be there for the work
Absolutely.
what you are
Yes.
looking for.
Yes. And do a vision board, right? Do a vision board. Like,
Exactly,
you
exactly.
don't
So
have
my
to
vision
be,
board is there in on the back of my
is
mind.
it? Is it? Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
because we're very visuals, right? As humans,
That's
we're very
that's
visuals.
exactly that's what 2021 vision board is there in front of me. What I am looking for in in this year, and so my self care vision board is there, and my 2021 goals are there in front of me. So I see every day. So what I want in this year.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that reminds you, right? You look at it and say, that's where I want to go, that's where I want to get. Even if things are a bit rough at times, you know where you're heading towards to.
Exactly, exactly. And about the habit, I must say that habit has to be there because resistance is the one thing which takes a very important role. Whenever your goal is high, the resistance will be again more than the goal. So, because it plays a very important role. So, it I believe that habit of doing work is very necessary because habit stacking is the one thing which really reminds you to do the thing every day what you're looking for. Once the habit becomes, then the goal, the short term goals to actually get it done is very easy.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And time management, right? Time
Time
management is
management.
part of it.
Exactly, exactly. Time
Yeah, and
management is the main mantra.
yes, yes, yes. And there's a good, I don't remember who gave me this tip, but it's really, really great tip that whenever you do time management, you have to put certain things together, right? So when you plan out your day, if
Mhm.
you know how your day is going to be most of the time, what you're going to do, and how much time you have to work on your business, for example, or whatever you're doing. So
Mhm.
very important is to cluster similar
Mm.
types of work in one bit, right? So if you are doing some creative work, you know that you might need more than an hour or two to really write something, to get into the writing. So pick a day where you really have that time slot available. If you're doing a lot of small admin things, sending messages, or you have to follow up certain things, then maybe even if you have a 1 hour window available, that's when you do that. And that increases your efficiency so, so much.
Wow. Actually, so that's wonderful. So, Alexandra, like about your goal setting, your vision, you like when you plan out the in the whole week, or like what are your what is your schedule of making a plan?
Sure, sure. Well, for me, a lot of it is around events, right? Because I do
Yeah.
events for myself and for other clients. So for me, I plan out the year according to the events that I have going on throughout the year. Of course, things can come in, right? Because you get a client and you need to plan an event.
True.
However, I think it's very important that you have a certain milestones set out
Mhm.
throughout the year that you can base your main activities on. So even if you can't plan for a whole year, just maybe start with planning out for a month. So what are you going to do for a month? What are you going to sell something? Are you going to promote something? And then coming from that, you create the tasks that you need to complete, you create the content that you need to complete, and your lives, your interviews, your emails, whatever there is. So it's not sporadic, right? It has to be tied into, again, to your goals, right? And that's
Wow.
what I do, right? Most of it is tied to either me launching something or the events. And then from there, I divide the tasks that I need to do throughout the week, and of course also invest into the community that I'm growing at the moment. So they all entwined, and I think it's very important that you. Whenever you create content, you link it to whatever you're doing because it makes sense. It has to make logical sense. You can't just, create something. You can, of course, but then it's a waste if you have
Yeah.
created something that is not linked with what you're doing. It can be either market research, it can be either just connecting with people, or
Exactly.
it can be selling something.
Connecting the dots is very necessary because once the dots get connected, the whole story will be in front of you, and you can actually move on the path.
Yes.
That's the journey. So, what message you want to give to the whole world today, Alexandra?
Well, I would say never give up, right? So if you have a certain vision, if you have a certain goal in mind, never give up. Maybe the path that you're going to be taking towards that goal is not the one that you thought in the beginning. You might have to change, you might have to take little detours. However, never keep that goal out of sight, because if you have that goal, then there is that driving force within you. And as you rightly said, there is a passion within you. And we have to follow that, because otherwise, why are we doing it, right? You
Correct.
have to realize yourself and you have to realize your dreams. Otherwise, life is just going to be a little bit sadder than it could have been.
Mm. Wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Alexandra. Thank you for your time, and thank you, everyone. So, one quote for everybody, and for especially for Alexandra: setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. So thank you everyone. And it was so impressive, Alexandra. You have given us so very important tips and so very beautifully explained and very insightful interview with you. And I would like to thank everybody for coming on the show and to the listening of the story of Alexandra and the important tips what she has given us. And I hope everybody can follow that and can take benefits from that. And if you want to join the event, please contact Alexandra and me. And to book one-to-one clarity sessions, you can contact and DM directly. Have a great day. Take care. See you soon.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.